Attacking three, it's an 8 p.m. kickoff, Eintracht Frankfurt against West Ham United. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. It's the second leg of the Europa League semi-finals and we are at the Deutsche Bank Arena in Frankfurt as Eintracht take on West Ham United. West Ham trailing 2-1 from the first leg in London last week, so they've got a uphill battle this evening against an Eintracht side who have looked excellent in this competition, of course, taking care of Barcelona in the previous round, but haven't had much form in the Bundesliga over the last 7 or 8 games, so perhaps West Ham can try and capitalise on that. Although, having said that, the Hammers go into this game having not won in 5. Their last win in any competition was the win away at Lyon, and they followed that up with a draw against Burnley, which they could have quite easily lost, and then defeats against Chelsea, Eintracht last Thursday, and then Arsenal at home at the weekend. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Harry Jones taking you through the action. Harry, it could be a long evening for West Ham if they don't make a good start.
Yeah, it really could be. I mean, you couldn't have started any worse in the first leg, as now have scored mere seconds into the match, so as long as they survive past the first few minutes, they'll have been improving from the last leg. So yeah, but it's all in Frankfurt's hands, isn't it? It's advantage to the home side. West Ham have got everything to play for here. They're away, they need to pick up goals early on and just worry this Frankfurt team who in Europe they look completely unbeatable, but in the league, and they're similar to West Ham, they haven't really had the best of form, so it'll be a really interesting matchup, and just see if either team can make a really early start and make a claim to get into the final.
Absolutely, yes. It's certainly going to be important for West Ham to try and have plenty of energy early on. But the home side, of course, will know that another goal for them extends their lead. But that's a good long throw down the right-hand side from Tufau, and he finds Antonio, who lifts across into the box, actually over everybody inside the penalty area. It's going to be kept in play by Fornals on the left-hand side. He goes back to Cresswell. Rice then over towards Fornals. Cresswell carried on his run on the overlap, nutmegs his man and gets that ball to Lanzini, who's at the edge of the area, tries to get a cross in. It's just about stopped on the line. Coming back towards the penalty area was Jens Hage, and I think he's just about... Oh, no, he hasn't. In fact, it has been signalled as a corner kick by the Spanish linesman. And although the home side don't agree with that decision, it has been given as a corner. So, good start here from West Ham.
Yeah, really good start. They got down the line nicely with the long throw. It caught out the Frankfurt defence slightly, and Antonio swing the ball towards the back post, but Lanzini did well to keep the ball in his feet. He was getting pressured by a couple of Frankfurt players, so he did well to draw a corner out of them, and this is the start that West Ham definitely needed. They need to start on the front foot, grab an early goal, and it shoots them straight back into contention for this second leg. Yeah,
a bit unfortunate. A couple of, let's say, small objects being thrown in the direction of Aaron Cresswell as he prepares to take this corner. It's an outswinger headed down by Souček. It drops to Dawson, who couldn't quite get his strike away. Looks like he might have caught one of the Eintracht defenders there as that ball was put out, but as the home side looked to try and clear their lines, the ball goes out for a throw. We'll just remind you of the 2-11s very quickly for Eintracht. It's Kevin Trapp in goal with a back three of Tuta, Martin Hinkeregger and Abite and Dika. The 4 across the middle are Ansgar Knauff, Djibril Sow, Sebastian Roda and Filip Kostic, with Jens Hage, Diachi Kamada and Rafa Borra as the attacking 3. As for West Ham, it is Alphonse Areola in goal with a back 4 of Vladimir Tufau, Craig Dawson, Kurt Zuma and Aaron Cresswell. Looks like a midfield 3 of Thomas Souček, Declan Rice and Manuel Lanzini, with Jared Bowen playing on the right, and then Pablo Fornals on the left and Antonio playing through the middle. It way will be that it's going to be an attacking 3, depending on just how much possession West Ham have. But Hinteregger, I think he was tripped there by Mikhail Antonio, or certainly got tangled by him, and I'm not entirely sure where the injuries come from, but he's pointing to his hamstring straight away.
Yeah, it looked like he was pointing to the subs bench that he has to come off. I think he knows he's definitely done something bad there, and this is a massive blow for Frankfurt early on in this match to lose an experienced centre-back like Hinteregger. So early on, you need that sort of solidity in your defence, and he's now got his head in his hands. He's laying flat out, holding the hamstring, so it really doesn't look good for the German, and for the Austrian. And he could see himself leaving the field just 3 minutes into this game. And like I said, that experienced body in the middle of the defence, it's like Chelsea have with Thiago Silva.
Absolutely,
it's like that's that sort of player that you need just to calm things down when it gets a bit frantic. And if he goes off now, they have got Evan and Ndicka in for this leg now. They didn't have him in the first leg due to suspension, but you do need that sort of experienced role.
You do, yeah. 74 caps for Austria. Hinteregger, 29-year-old, just short of 6'2" as well, so he's a big unit in that centre of defence, and they'll certainly miss him, and it looks like he is going to go off, and you can see a couple of the Frankfurt fans, heads in their hands. They know this is going to be a big problem, as the manager there, Oliver Glasner, just trying to get a message. I mean, they are checking Hinteregger now, but considering that he was motioning, I mean, players know when their hamstrings go, and it's one of those injuries that won't get healed with a little bit of numbing spray. So we'll have to wait and see, but may just be a case of them just having a go at Hinteregger whilst one of the substitutes warms up. And of course, this being a European game, there's pretty much an 11 to choose from on the bench as well. So plenty of options there for Glasner. As a long clearance now from goalkeeper Trapp gets headed straight back towards the Eintracht penalty area. He now plays out towards Indico, sends a long ball over the top, headed forward now by Aaron Cresswell. It drops nicely to Lanzini, just waited for that ball to drop, and that allowed Indica to get a head in and clear the ball away. And it's now with Hogger down the right-hand side, plays it forward. That one's been quickly won back though, although West Ham just as quickly give it away, and then it needed a quick reaction there from Souček on the halfway line just to play that back towards Cresswell. We've got 5 minutes on the clock. We've not had too much play though, of course, because of that injury delay as well. It looks like both sides are trying to play direct early on. As a great ball from Craig Dawson, quarterback style, straight down the middle, and almost picked out Antonio, but it was just a little bit too close to Kevin Trapp. Well, it just goes to show that it looks like Martin Hinteregger doesn't know his own body, because he looks like he's ready to come back on the field now, even though he was suggesting it was all over. Yeah,
he's jogging onto the field, and it could be a case of he's just trying to get through it, and that's the worst thing to do as a player. I mean, I know he wants to be there for his team and be heroic, but sometimes it can end up causing more damage than it does good. So if he does come on and tries to work it, and it gets even worse, then that could see him being out for such a long period of time. And it looks like he was signifying to the bench that he did want to come off. So I think he's maybe just coming on until the substitution's ready.
I think so. They're just, although saying that, we're so close from kick-off as well. You'd think that whoever the sub was, they wouldn't need that long to warm. It's not like they've been sat on that bench for half an hour. Because I remember years ago it was Diego Costa that insisted on starting in the Champions League final and ended up having to go off inside the first 10 minutes because of a hamstring. So sometimes it really isn't worth it if there is a gut feeling from the player and the medical staff that it's not quite right. It's usually the first thought that's right. But here comes a long ball now down the right-hand side, quickly headed out by Ndika, out for a throw. Hinteregger is down on the ground, but I think that the Eintracht bench were ready for this, because they've already got a substitute prepared, and it's going to be the Al-Mali Toure who's going to be coming on now. Al-Mali Toure just getting ready to come on, and it's this collision that Hinteregger had with Antonio. Just as he was trying to keep his balance after that collision, it looks like he just strained his right foot a little bit too much.
Yeah, it was obvious when he went down. I think everyone in the stadium, and even he, knew that he wasn't going to be able to continue the game there. I mean, you know, if anyone's played football, then you do know when it's gone, don't you? You can feel it pop, and I think he knew exactly what had happened when it did happen. So him coming back on was obviously just a placeholder. He was waiting for Toure to get ready to come on, but it's not a bad replacement in Toure. He played in the first leg, looked very solid in the left side of the defence, while Evan Ndika was out suspended. So he had a really good game up against Jared Bowen, kept him fairly quiet for the majority of the match. So it definitely isn't a poor replacement, but like I said, you do want that sort of experience in your side.
You do, absolutely. Al-Mali Toure spent a long time at Monaco in their first and second teams. 26-year-old who's just made it into the Mali squad for their was in their Mali squad for a couple of their Qatar qualifiers. And as I say, never really got into that Monaco team regularly. Never had more than sort of 15-20 games in a season. But this is a good opportunity for him now. He's only made 9 starts in the domestic league for Eintracht this season, but as Harry mentioned, has been used more in a European competition, which is where Eintracht have found most of their joy this season. As a bouncing ball at the edge of the area, and waiting until the very last second, there was Tuta for that one to land in his goalkeeper's arms. It's now over on the right-hand side, played in towards Djibril Sow. Sow now towards the left here for Filip Kostic. Not seen too much of him early on in this game. It's now played back towards the edge of the area, and it looks like that's taken the wind out of Eintracht's sails a little bit, that early substitution.
Yeah, well, it would, wouldn't it? When the game breaks up so early on, you're not really expecting it. You just want to reset, get back on the ball, and try and play your own game once again. But it's almost like having that sort of stoppage in play. You've got to reset, and you've got a new player coming on. It is almost like you're restarting the whole game, isn't it? So I think they're just slowing things down again, getting back onto the ball and enjoying a bit of possession before making their move again.
Well, they're making a move now down the left-hand side. It's Kostic's ball in, swept away by Declan Rice, out for a throw to Eintracht now down the left. Kostic takes it quickly, and he takes it too quickly and too close to the edge of the area. Referee unhappy there. Jesus Gil, by the way, is our Spanish official. I've got to say that he's not moved an inch, Kostic, so I'm not quite sure what the referee was unhappy about there, but whatever it was, he's allowed the throw to be taken again, and it's quickly put out by 2 fouls. It'll be another throw. Eintracht slowly edging towards the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Kostic back to Sal. Sal puts a cross in, which is run out by Jared Bowen. So now it's going to be Eintracht's first corner kick of the evening. You can tell it's a real partisan atmosphere at the Deutsche Bank Park as well. You consider that, of course, German stadiums do have a safe standing. It does really make that atmosphere. The West Ham fans are in that corner as well. So they've got their own goal in front of them here in the first half. 10 minutes on the clock. It is goalless as it's a short corner taken here by Horger. Gets the ball back and then lifts it way too high. And Cresswell just gets a shout from his teammates there to let that one go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a really nicely worked move there from the corner. I mean, he played it short into Kostic, received the ball back, he had time to set himself up, got a better angle, more infield, and he really wasted the opportunity. Just sent it way too far around towards the back post. Nobody was waiting for it, and it was a bit of a waste of a nice corner set piece.
It was in the end, as we've got our first goal of the evening. It's not in the Europa League, but it's in the Europa Conference League, where AS Roma have just taken the lead against Leicester City. So now that's a 2-0 lead for Jose Mourinho's side against Brendan Rodgers' outfit. We'll see whether or not Leicester can make up that difference. All the games this evening are available on our service. Marseille Feyenoord, which was 0-0 from the first leg, as well as Rangers against Leipzig. But the ball now back on the halfway line here with Cresswell. 1-1, of course, in that Leicester City-Roma game. I do beg your pardon. But certainly in this game so far, West Ham made a positive start in the first few minutes. Things have just slowed down after that injury. And now it's Tufal that plays a quick ball down the right-hand side here for Bowen. And that one is easily laid back by Ndika towards Kevin Trapp. And certainly from the first game, West Ham didn't make a good start. And sometimes in these European nights, there's that fear of not losing a game rather than believing you can win it. And I think that sometimes hamstrings sides slightly.
Yeah, I think that's it exactly. I think in the first leg, West Ham didn't turn up. They got caught on the break really early on. It was a sort of a shot goal from Knauff, and I think it just sort of paralysed them a little bit. I think the players were a little bit shocked and scared maybe by the occasion. They froze up, but it shows a lot of character to come back into it. They got a goal back. Obviously ended up losing in that first leg 2-1, but it showed a lot of character to come back after conceding within seconds of the game kicking off. Most clubs would just sit back and take defeat there. I think they would knock the wind out their sails after all the hype that's been built up for this massive European night at the London Stadium. And then they came back. They got their goal back. They played really well throughout most of the 90. I think in the second half, Frankfurt just edged them, and with the second goal, I think it was always going to come. But they made a good account of themselves. So I think it showed their character, and in this second leg they have started a little bit more controlled, a little bit more comfortable. They're playing with the ball at their feet. They're defending well when needed to, so I think it's definitely an improvement.
Well, it needs, absolutely. There needs to be a positivity about the way West Ham start this game. They don't want to let Eintracht get into their stride too much, because then it will just become almost a default setting that West Ham are defending what Eintracht are doing, and of course Eintracht already lead in the tie, so West Ham have got to try and reverse that if they can. It's a throw to West Ham down the left now, about halfway between their penalty area and the halfway line. It's with Aaron Cresswell. Goes back towards Declan Rice. Under pressure, Rice having to rush his clearance slightly, but it turns out like a good ball here for Michail Antonio. Holds it up on the left and plays it back to Rice, who'd made it all the way to the halfway line. Then Rice just scoops the ball up in the air, which is headed forward by Ndika, dropping over on the left-hand side. Antonio then leaves that. It's out for a throw to West Ham, although the home side were appealing it should be for them. Taken quickly now back towards Aaron Cresswell. And here is Kurt Zouma now square towards Craig Dawson. It's almost, you could say, a Premier League 11 here from West Ham. I suppose the only regular change in that team is the goalkeeper. Yeah,
I mean, Areola's done really well in the Europa League when he's come in. I think he's been David Moyes' number one in the Europa League, but I expected them to rotate a little bit more at the weekend against Arsenal. I thought we'd see a much changed 11, just considering they were 2-1 down. They needed to go for the jugular in this second leg. But we didn't really see them rotate too much against Arsenal. Didn't really perform the best, but I think this is the strongest 11 they could have put out this evening. I think this is the best team they have, maybe barring Sai Benrahma maybe coming in or out. However, really you see it, I think it's more on preference there. But yeah, this is definitely their strongest 11.
As you say, I think apart from the goalkeeper, you could easily see the other 10 players starting a big Premier League game. So yeah, and as I say, Areola, of course, isn't exactly a bad replacement for Fabianski. It's just that he's been there longer and is the more steady goalkeeper over a long period of time. But Areola will certainly be looking to try and compete with Fabianski for the number 1 slot here, as West Ham just under a bit of pressure in midfield. Bowen slides in, Owen wins a quick ball, which is now over with Tufal. He plays it early up towards Mikhail Antonio, challenged there by the Brazilian Tuta, and the Eintracht man felt as though it should be a throw to the home side. The linesman disagreed, so West Ham gaining quite a bit of territory there. Throw on to the Hammers now down the right hand side, level with the edge of the area. And the Czech international here, Vladimir Tufal, is getting as long a run up as he can. Try and send this as close towards that 6-yard box where his countryman Souček is lurking, but that is just lobbed up in the air, and it's catching practice for Kevin Trapp. He catches harder ones than that in the warm up. Bit of a waste in the end, but a long clearance from the goalkeeper trying to start a quick counter-attack. He was looking to try and pick out Rafa Borra, but it's back now with Aaron Cresswell. 15 minutes gone, still goalless in this game, so Eintracht still lead by 2-1 on aggregate. Over with Tufal now on the right. So just to remind you, of course, in case you had forgotten, that no away goals in UEFA competitions anymore. So whatever happens this evening, if it is level after 90 minutes over the 2 legs, we will go to extra time and potentially penalties. But certainly Eintracht will be hoping it doesn't need that, and West Ham, well, they'll be looking to try and get that equaliser a bit sooner than to try and take the game to extra time, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, things can happen, can't we? We saw it last night in the Champions League with Manchester City and Real Madrid. It's a funny old competition, isn't it, in Europe? I think anything's possible, so you can never count out either side. Even if Frankfurt go and score another goal, we can't count West Ham out. We know what they're capable of. They've shown in this competition against Lyon, obviously. They came back fantastically, scored some really good late goals and got themselves straight back into the tie, so it can go either way.
Absolutely, yeah. And although sometimes you can go an hour or even longer than an hour without seeing a goal, you can also see 2 or 3 goals in the space of a couple of minutes, and that's certainly Manchester City fans will be more than aware of that after the disaster in those 90, just less than 90 seconds yesterday, which completely reversed that Champions League semi-final. But long ball now over the top here, and that's a good ball as well, trying to pick out. Well, there's going to be a free kick here at the edge of the area, and this could be a problem here for Cresswell. Referee does have his card out. It's a yellow. Cresswell's furious that he doesn't even think it was a foul. The Eintracht players are furious because they think it should be a red.
Yeah, I mean, he was the last man. It's really tricky. The same thing happened to him against Lyon when he took down Dembele. He got a red card that time around in the first leg against Lyon, and it's Cresswell once again making the challenge last man. They did seem like he brought the player towards the ground. As we just watch a replay here, Kamada with a really nice ball over the top. It's dangerous, and it's Horgan that runs onto it. And I think they just lock up a little bit, and there's an arm across the chest, and
I mean, he grabs him by the sleeve. I mean, that's not enough to bring a grown sportsman down, let's face it. But there is a bit of contact there with Cresswell. He doesn't get the ball. I think there's contact with the arm there, isn't there? I do wonder.
I think you can't be having your hands there when you know you're the last man.
Yeah, I do wonder if VAR is going to have a look at this as well. But the other thing as well, that aside from the foul itself, I mean, that last move there where Cresswell has got him by the shoulders doesn't look good for him. But also it's the fact that Cresswell has allowed that ball to bounce when he's... I mean, as you said, it was a good ball. It had a bit of movement on it, but really Cresswell should do a bit more. And now VAR has asked our referee, Jesus Gill, just to have a look at this, because I think once he realises that Cresswell isn't just tangled with Horga, he's actually making an effort to try and stop him there, isn't he?
Well, the problem is he's missed the ball at first attempt, so he's already made a mistake there, and he's tried to recover his mistake by bringing the player to the ground. He's already lost out on the ball. You've seen him completely lose control of the ball. He's panicked, brought him to ground, and we know what happens when they go to the monitor. It usually goes in favour of the attacking team.
Well, the referee's doing this very well for the cameras. He's waiting until he's near Cresswell, and it looks like he's going to cancel that yellow card. The card is cancelled, and the red card is given here for Aaron Cresswell. And he can't believe it. The West Ham players are trying to just argue the case, as is Declan Rice now trying to have a word with the referee, but his mind's been made up. I mean, Jens Horger, they're trying to put his arm around Cresswell, saying, I don't know why he's been sent off, but I think it's because you went down a bit easily after a bit of contact. That's the reason that he's been sent off. But from Horger's point of view, I mean, would any Premier League forward do anything different there?
No, I think he's done the right thing. He's realised Areola's come out. None of them have got to the ball. He's felt the contact. He's gone down. I mean, any sportsman is going to do that.
Cresswell's almost trying to sort of...
He claws him.
Yeah, he's almost trying to climb on Horger to get near the ball, and that's obviously what Horger's used as his reason for hitting the deck. So, inside the first 10 10 minutes. Eintracht had to make a substitution because of an injury, and inside the first 20 minutes now, West Ham have been reduced to 10 men, and it's a free kick to Eintracht at the edge of the D, and it looks like it's Daichi Kamada who's one of the players standing over it. I think that Kostic might fancy this one as well. He's certainly standing there with his left foot ready to go, and it is going to be Filip Kostic through the wall and just wide. In the end, Areola's positioning of his wall was good because it forced Kostic just a little bit further wide, but he certainly put his laces through that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't messing with that opportunity, was he? Filip Kostic, he absolutely leathered it past the post, but he hit it with some power. I don't think Areola would have got there if it was on target. You just see a replay. There was a man laying down in the wall. It's Lanzini, and yeah, he just flashes it wide of the post. But I'm sure we'll have to see West Ham making a substitution here to get Ben Johnson on the field. I don't think they can go the rest of the game without a recognised left back on the field. Maybe take off one of the attacking players. Maybe.
Well, they've got options on that side. They've got Fredericks, they've got Masuaku, they've got Johnson, as you mentioned, and they've got Issa Diop as well if they want to try and sort of mess around and perhaps put Tufal on the left or whatever. So they've got options aplenty there, depending on what David Moyes needs to do. But I would agree that I'd be surprised if he just leaves it as it is for the time being. I think, is it Lanzini that slipped into that left back role as an emergency for the time being? I
think what they're doing is going to a back three with Tufal moving in field, and they're playing with wing backs now. Bowen and Lanzini as wing backs. So I think that's the move that David Moyes has opted for, and it's not a bad one, to be honest. I think it keeps the pressure on. They need the goals. They're going more attacking now with only 3 designated centre halves, wing backs as wingers. So I think it just pushes them forward. They've got a mountain to climb here, and it's going to be massive to see if
they're taking the first step on that mountain, though, because the long ball was played down the right-hand side. It was clipped out for a corner, and Jared Bowen is waiting to take this corner, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. There's plenty of pushing and shoving inside that penalty area. Referee just coming across there. It looks like Mikhail Antonio and Rafa Borra were just having a bit of a to-do. Would say to Rafa Borra that I don't think he'd be allowed in the same boxing ring as Mikhail Antonio. There'd be too much of a weight difference between the two of them, but certainly trying his best to upset the West Ham striker. And yeah, Ben Johnson, as you've called it there, Harry. Ben Johnson, the youngster, is getting ready to come on. The only question is who's getting the hook. It is Manuel Lanzini. He's that kind of luxury player that sometimes you do have to take off if you're a man down. Yeah,
I think that's the move that I expected. I think now they'll just play with a flat 4-4-1, so it'll be the 2 central midfielders, the 2 wingers, and Antonio up front with the back 4.
Yeah, so we're going to see this corner kick for West Ham now, and the big men Souček and Kurt Zuma are up for this one, as is Craig Dawson. Always handy with the corner kick. Here comes the ball in from Cresswell. It's a good one as well. He was aiming for Dawson at the far post. It's headed out for another corner. I think the Eintracht players are unhappy. They thought there might have been some pushing and shoving there as their defender was trying to get to it, but it was the right idea to try and pick out Dawson at the far post. Yeah, it was a really nice knock towards the back post. Nobody really picking him up. I think it was a bit of a scramble at the back post, and that's why they wanted the free kick, because it did look like a scramble. Yes, plastic bottles aplenty there being thrown as Pablo Fornals gets ready to say this. So it just goes to show it's not just Ellen Road that has this problem. It's a European-wide thing. But it is going to be Pablo Fornals now to whip this in from the left-hand side. He gets that way. It's a good ball as well, aimed at that near post. It's like Skittles inside that 6-yard box. 4 players hit the deck there, 2 from each side, and now the referee has spotted that. In the end, there are now 2 Eintracht players down on the ground just at the edge of their own 6-yard box. It looks like it's Tuta. And Sau, I think, was the other player that had hit the deck. Or it might have even been Toure, I think, as he went to head this. No, it was Sau. It's Sau that's down on the ground, and they might need a minute to get up now. Yeah, I think they're just taking a minute. I think Tuta's boot is now flown off as he's putting it back on. I think he may have just caught a stud on the back of the foot. So his boot flew off as Glasner has a word with Filip Kostic on this near side. I'm sure he's wanting to capitalise on the lack of players in West Ham's favour now. They've got a man advantage, so they're going to have to make it work, and if they can maybe grab one more goal, it may seem like a really uphill battle for West Ham to get back into it. Well, Rangers are doing well in their uphill battle. They've now equalised over the 2 legs, but I'll come back to that in a second, because a throw-on's been taken quickly from down the left-hand side after that drop ball from the referee was played into Mikhail Antonio, but now cleared up towards the halfway line as a bouncing ball. Haga then runs into Pablo Fornals, and I think it's been given as a free kick in favour of the Eintracht man. It will be a free kick to the home side just inside the centre circle. We're past the halfway mark in this first half. 23 minutes gone. It is Eintracht 0, West Ham 0, so it's still 2-1 on aggregate, but West Ham are now down to 10 men. It will be Harry to take us through to half time. Yeah, real mountain to climb now for West Ham as Daichi Kamada turns away from Mikel Antonio quite nicely, and now Frankfurt look to build from the back. They've not really had much going forward
in this match so far, apart from the chance that led to the red card for Aaron Cresswell, as they quickly dispossessed once again. Craig Dawson shifted down the right hand side, looking for the run of Jared Bowen, and really good defending there from Evan Ndicka, coming across to just stick tight to the shirt of Jared Bowen and head out for a throw in on this near side.
Yeah, as I say, it was a real athletic jump there from Ndicka just to make sure he got there ahead of Jared Bowen. West Ham is seeing a lot of the ball. It's just a question of how they use that now to try and create a good chance.
Yeah, they are the majority of the possession, but in terms of going forward, they haven't really had many clear-cut opportunities. Good opportunity from the corner, but that was a poor pass there from Ben Johnson. He's given it away for Frankfurt, throwing on the far side, trying to pick out Pablo Fornals, but he drifted right out of play for a throw-in. So back on the front foot are Frankfurt, as it's taken quickly by Knauff, gone back towards Toure. Now across to Ndicka, who's got a lot of space ahead of him to pick out a pass. Obviously go back across and find Tuta once again. I think they'll be happy to just slow the play down here, Frankfurt. They have got the goal advantage on aggregate. Don't need to rush anything as Sebastian Roda switches the play over to the right hand side. Cut inside by Knauff. Now Borre goes back out towards Haig. Now fallen to So. Looked to get the ball in the box first time, didn't take his chance, and now the ball's drifted all the way back to the halfway line towards Tuta. Back outside to Toure now. On the line, it's a really nice ball there to find Knauff, but it's fallen back to Borre and he's scored. And things are going from bad to worse for West Ham United, as Borre has put the dagger in the back of the Hammers. Now it leads Frankfurt 3, West Ham 1 on aggregate.
Yeah, going from bad to worst here for West Ham after that red card for Aaron Cresswell. You always felt it was going to be an uphill battle for the Hammers, and now with that goal from Rafa Borra, it's going to be very, very difficult indeed. West Ham need 2 goals just to level up this game on aggregate, and they're down to 10 men. Borra, they're saluting the home crowd. But we'll just see from the replay how West Ham have allowed this to happen, because it was a quick build-up here from Eintracht. Ball put in from the right-hand side. It starts off in midfield here with Ndicka, plays it back towards Tuta, and then just a little bit too much space here down that right-hand side. Johnson's looked a bit slow since he's come on, and it's a really good cutback as well from Knauff. Right, puts it right on the plate here for Borra, who also measures his shot right into the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's really poor defending from West Ham, but you would say having that man disadvantage may really have cost them here, as it just seems to get split open way too easily. You'd think maybe throw an extra body onto the field, Lanzini in a bit more of a defensive role. It allows Rice and Souček to move freely.
What was interesting about that replay there was, as that ball was being put in by Knauff, you could see the expression on Dawson's face. He was already giving up, because he already knew that ball was going to get to Borra before he was going to have a chance to react, and he knew that ball was going to get into the back of the net. Well, there was a good chance of it happening, and now we can see the Eintracht bench just reacting on the replay. So absolutely delighted with that. It's a 1-goal lead now for Eintracht in the game, a 2-goal lead on aggregate, and it really is a tall order for West Ham now. Yeah,
it's really panic stations now for David Moyes' side. They're really going to struggle to get back into this match, and the red card may have just killed their hopes off. I mean, they already had an uphill battle, being a goal disadvantage after the first leg, but Aaron Cresswell getting that sending off really would not help their chances, as Kamara has doubled Rangers' lead on the night, meaning they go now 1 goal ahead of Leipzig on aggregate in the other semi-final. So a massive goal at Ibrox. It seems as though things settle the way they are now. See a Frankfurt and Rangers final in the Europa League.
Yeah, and ironically enough, RB Leipzig, you would argue, are a tougher proposition than Eintracht are. So Rangers might really fancy their chances now, hearing what's happening in Germany. But still plenty of time left, of course, at Ibrox as well. And RB Leipzig certainly haven't said the last word in that game. But meanwhile, here at the Deutsche Bank Park, it's a corner kick here to Eintracht from the left-hand side.
Yeah, Kostic delivers the ball deep towards the back post. Knauff is there to pick it up. Antonio puts him under pressure, sends the ball back into the area. It's a percentage ball, and Areola does really well to command his area. Comes out and claims it. Just asks his players to settle down there. He doesn't want to rush things too much here. They've still got a lot of time, West Ham, and they just need to play their own game. They need to move the ball around this Frankfurt team. It's going to be more difficult with the man disadvantage, but they stick to their game plan. They definitely won't count themselves out just yet, as Borra looks to put the players under pressure there. He slips as he tries to cut across the field and put the West Ham defence under pressure. The ball is bouncing around halfway now, and it's picked up by So. Finds Kostic on this near side. He's operating once again as a wing back. He's so versatile as Kostic. He started off as a winger, and now the ball through to Mikel Antonio, almost finds the Jamaican. There was a splitting ball. He played it into the feet of Pablo Fornal, was turned away from his man, and he looked like he was through on goal there. If the ball was a little bit more favourable for him, he really could have been in on goal there, Mikel Antonio. It was a really nicely worked move, but really good defending from Evan Ndicka to come across and cover. Just gets the ball away from the Jamaican.
Gets a bit of a trot on his own foot for his troubles there, Ndicka, but that's what Eintracht have to do. They've got to try and snuff out anything that West Ham are doing as high up the field as they can, because what they want to do is wear West Ham out. They're playing with a man disadvantage. They're now chasing the game as well, having gone a goal down on the night. So from Eintracht's point of view, they can really hold West Ham at arm's length now. But just as I say that, it's a terrible ball played across his own half. I think it was Toure looking across, and he's just given West Ham a throw right at the edge of the Eintracht penalty area.
Yeah, well, since scoring, they really haven't had much here, Frankfurt. They've been put under pressure slightly. Maybe the comfort blanket maybe making them a little bit too comfortable after scoring now. They're 2-goal advantage, but West Ham certainly not down and out just yet. David Moyes' side will definitely fancy their chances to get back into this. They've got the passion of the away side and the occasion as Soufal delivers the long throw in towards the area, flicked on by Souček, headed back towards Declan Rice, who hits it on the first time. It's bundled off and away by a Frankfurt player, but still in favour of West Ham. The danger's not quite clear yet as Dawson plays about with the ball at his feet and plays a switch ball towards the left-hand side. It's a really nice one, finds Pablo Fornal as well as he wants to maybe deliver a ball, goes back in towards Ben Johnson, who delivers it first time off the left foot, looks to Souček, who heads it goalwards, but it won't hit the target, just flies past Kevin Trapp. He'll see it out for an easy goal kick. Yeah,
in the end, no problems there for Trapp with that one, as we're seeing this move again. There was just too many men over on that right-hand side for West Ham to deal with. As I say, Johnson wasn't really marking the man on the flank. He wasn't really doing much to cut out the pass. I'm not going to blame Johnson on his own for that, but it just seemed like it was a little bit too open for West Ham on their left, on Eintracht's right. And in the end, it was a good ball into the box, but they had too much time, I think, to be able to prepare that. And here they come now with Kostic down the left.
Yeah, Kostic looks to deliver the ball first time into the area, headed away by Souček. Bowen gets the second flick on, but can only go as far as a black shirt, where So picks it up now. Sebastian Roda finds Kostic. Taichi Kamada goes back towards Roda. Roda finds Tuta just on halfway, bringing the ball forward, tries a cute dink over the top, but there's been a miscommunication there between him and Kostic as it didn't find the intended target. Headed back by Craig Dawson to his goalkeeper Areola, who gives it back to Dawson, and now ball goes long over the top, headed by Evan Ndicka straight back towards Craig Dawson there, and Dawson's first touch was poor, and he really hasn't had the best of first half, said Craig Dawson, as the ball rolls out for another throw, and they take it quickly here. It goes back towards Taichi Kamada. Now Borra goes back towards Sebastian Roda. So will look to find Haug. Now back to So. And Tuta plays a splitting ball inside towards Borra and almost turns away from Dawson once again, but Areola will clear away towards Antonio. Fighting with Ndicka there to try and win the ball, and it's a poor clearance there by Toure. Finds Jarrod Bowen, but massive sliding challenge there from Evan Ndicka. He's been fantastic in this second leg.
He's been a massive player for Eintracht, so seems to be single-handedly marshalling that defence at times, with his other teammates just sort of supporting him. But yeah, there's an ease about Eintracht now. As you said, they haven't looked great since they've scored, but barring a couple of loose balls, they're not really giving West Ham much to work with either.
As they look to come forward once again, the home side. Filip Kostic tried to deliver a ball into the box, but I'm not sure why, as nobody was in the area. They were all scattered around the penalty area. Now the ball was split down the line towards Knauff, back towards the man who scored in the first leg, assisted in the second leg. Here's ball into the area, is cleared away by Bowen. And as far now as Toure. Goes back towards Roda, but he slipped there, and Antonio might just get the better of him. No, he doesn't, as the first touch there from Mikel Antonio wasn't the best. The ball's given away once again towards Declan Rice, and now will West Ham look to counter with Jarrod Bowen. He looks to try and get away. He hasn't got much in support. Tries to split the ball towards Pablo Fornals, but once again, the options just weren't there for Jarrod Bowen, and the ball will go back to a Frankfurt player.
Straight back towards the goalkeeper, but yeah, again, a good move down the right-hand side there for Eintracht. Again, it's now finding a bit of space. The ball was just a little bit behind his two teammates who were running towards the edge of that 6-yard box. But again, West Ham just need to get an extra man over on that, on their left, on Eintracht's right, because the home side are trying it on that side almost every time, and they're coming off with some sort of chance, as they're in midfield now here with Sau. He's got options, and he does go over towards Knauff on the right.
Yeah, Knauff looks to control the ball there, and it's a really poor attempt of control there from Knauff, but the bounce was just very unfortunate.
Bit of a hard bounce on there for Knauff to control. Just to say as well, another game available on our service this evening. It's half time at Adams Park as Wickham lead against MK Dons in the first of the League One playoff semi-finals. The second one of those involves the, dare I say, slightly two bigger teams tomorrow as Sunderland take on Sheffield Wednesday. And of course the League 2 playoffs, and then from next week the Championship players will start after the final round of games, all 12 games being played at 12:30 this Saturday. But here at the Deutsche Bank Park, it's tough here for West Ham. That's great play though from Souček, just to win the ball back for his side. Maybe a chance here now for Bowen. Yeah,
Jared Bowen trying to skip away from Filip Kostic there. Hauge comes over to give support to his fellow teammates as they do really well there. The high press from Frankfurt not allowing them any time on the ball, and now Daichi Kamada tries to slot it through towards Borra, but there's a poor ball and it will run all the way towards Kurt Zimmer. It's an easy one for them to deal with, West Ham, but I think that's where the difference is in defence. Frankfurt are so on the ball, they're right in West Ham's face. They're not giving him any time. As soon as the likes of Jared Bowen get involved in possession, they just snuff him out with ease, as they're just getting in so quickly.
Because there's always seems to be two Eintracht players to every West Ham forward. That's been the problem. Not quite sure as to why that wasn't given as a free kick to West Ham there. That run from Bowen just stopped on that right-hand side. To me, it looked as though he was tripped, and the referee looked like he was just about to whistle the free kick and then changed his mind.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to give the foul, but he opted against it, maybe due to Jared Bowen's complaints. Maybe he thought was a little bit excessive. However, the game does go on. So now finds Sebastian Roda. Frankfurt looking to control possession once again. I'm not sure if there'll be any rush to go forward, as they now have that 2-goal cushion. It's all in West Ham's hands now to go and chase the game. So as far as Glasner is concerned, this Frankfurt team could coast to a comfortable lead now. The man advantage, 2-goal advantage, and it's advantage Frankfurt as now they come forward once again. Kamada finds Kostic on this left hand side. Good sliding challenge there from Vladimir Soufal. Gets the ball away from Kostic, but it will go out of play for a Frankfurt throw on this near side. I think it's Kostic to take. He does, goes in towards Daichi Kamada, and now goes back towards halfway where Tuta picks up possession. Up towards Toure. Toure finds Knauff, and he's got the run over on the far side of Hauge. Does find him, and it goes back into Knauff. Really good play here from Frankfurt. He gets away from Declan Rice, tries to cut back inside, but massive challenge from Ben Johnson there to flick the ball away from Knauff. As
he's looking good on that right hand side, Knauff, and he did really well after this backheel there from Hauge to keep the ball in play, but Knauff did really well, took the bounce really well on this occasion before cutting into the penalty area, and Johnson in the right place at the right time puts a good challenge in. But I wouldn't say it's a matter of time before Eintracht score again, but there's an ease about the way they're playing. West Ham have got to try and do something just to get a bit more control of the game. As a long ball there, and that's exactly the point. Declan Rice thought he'd start something from midfield by sending a long ball over to Foul, but it was never really that close to him. It never looked like he was going to get on the end of it.
Yeah, it really doesn't look good for West Ham fans, any of the Hammers that are travelling over to Germany, as they've got a massive task on their hands now for the remaining 50 or 60 minutes of this second leg, as now Frankfurt move forward. So finds Knauff once again in acres of space out on the right hand side. 1-on-1 with Ben Johnson here, he looks to get to the byline. Still moving forward with it now, decides to cut back in field. It's a lucky deflection off the feet of Pablo Fornals, and it's still being worked in field now by Frankfurt. Flicked out towards Hauge. He looks to go back in towards So. He's got another acre of space here. Finds Knauff with the ball. Tries a direct one into the feet of Knauff, but he was getting tracked there from Ben Johnson. It was good defending in the end by the young Englishman. Cuts out the danger as it will roll all the way back towards Areola, and Johnson and Knauff just having a giggle between themselves there. A little pat on the back from Ben Johnson, I think. After Knauff may have claimed for a little foul in the area. I think Ben Johnson was having none of it, and rightly so. I don't think that was a foul, as now West Ham look to come forward here. It was really good play from them there, as Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio can't get on the same page there. It almost looked like something was about to stick for the Hammers.
Yeah, both of them sort of looking frustrated towards the other there, weren't they? Bowen wasn't too happy with where Antonio had ended up. Antonio wasn't too happy with where Bowen had put the ball. But the long and the short of it is West Ham lose possession again barely before they've even had a chance to start anything in attack. And certainly looking at the possession stats as it stands now in the game, it's 57% for Eintracht, so it's not actually that bad. I thought there might be more of an advantage there for the home side, but West Ham aren't really doing too much with their 40-odd% for the time being.
Yeah, it seems as though it sums up West Ham's evening this evening. It looks like there's moments where they could break forward and then it just either cut out or miscommunication or a poor ball is what's holding them back, as now Hauger looks to come forward, takes on Ben Johnson, twists and turns away. It's nice skill here from him, lays it back towards the captain Sebastian Roda, and now dribbles So, tries to play it out wide towards Filip Kostic. Will he be able to keep it in? Yes, he does, but in comes the massive sliding challenge from the Czech Vladimir Sufal to play the ball out of play, but it will be still in favour of the home side as Kostic looks to take the throw in on this near side. Goes back towards So, infield towards Borra, now back towards Tuta. They'll slow things down here now, Frankfurt just allowing themselves to get back into position from the throw-in. Now goes back in towards Toure. First touch there, under pressure from Pablo Fornals, but looks so comfortable in the possession. Now do Frankfurt, and it's a matter of time before West Ham's legs start to go as they've got the man disadvantage. Mikel Antonio is just moving left to right, left to right. It's only a matter of time before the legs start to go and they start to tire out. Yeah, I mean, and already, of course, West Ham having to make a change because of the red card, forced to bring on Ben Johnson, so that does limit David Moyes' tactical options for the second half. But it's been a tough first half for West Ham. And I mean, you certainly can't deny that they're battling qualities. They're doing what they can to make it difficult here for Eintracht, but it's just, what is West Ham's plan now when they're in possession? Because they just seem to be a little bit sort of rushed. Whatever they're doing, it's a quick ball from Rice or it's a quick run from Bowen. They just need to take a little bit more time and to think about what they do in possession, because they've still got time to turn this tie around, I think. Yeah, as Ben Johnson looks to take the throw just on the far side, just on halfway. Not much movement in and around the attacking third, as he just starts to go down the line towards Mikel Antonio, who does what he does best and just holds up the ball. But they do lose out of possession now, and Pablo Fornals will make chase towards Kevin Trapp, who sends the ball long and deep in towards the West Ham half, headed down by Zuma. Fornals tries to come back on side and keep the ball in favour of the Hammers, but doesn't manage to do so, and they lose out once again, and goes back to the routine of Frankfurt just playing the ball from left to right, opening up this fairly open West Ham defence. As now Decker plays a 1-2 with Kostic, and this is really good players. Kamada drops deep to receive the ball, and they break forward now with Hauger. Declan Rice does really well to get his himself in between the man and the ball, and then Hauger runs over to this near side, brings Sufal down. That will be a free kick in favour of the away side, so a chance for West Ham just to reset, throw a couple bodies forward and maybe create another attacking opportunity from the free kick. Well, this is it. This is what they need to try and do: is to just try and get a little bit more something, get something from this first half. Try and just hold the ball for the next few minutes, make it a little bit more difficult for Eintracht to get into possession. But again, 7 or 8 passes there for West Ham before they're forced to go back to Areola, who then clears it up to the halfway line, where it's a 50-50 ball, and Eintracht potentially back in possession. But Antonio does hold it up, so maybe a half a chance here for West Ham. Yeah, it's really nice there from Sufal to leave it down the line towards Antonio. A massive sliding challenge comes in from Evan Ndicka. I think he'll get himself a yellow card there as he completely takes out Mikel Antonio, looked to be away towards the byline, and the referee does brandish a yellow card towards Evan Ndicka, who's only just come back into the side after suspension in Europe. So he'll have to be very careful as Toure makes he lunged at Pablo Fornals and got nowhere near the ball. Antonio is very clever there because he makes sure he gets that touch on the ball first before Ndicka comes across, and it's the easiest decision really for the referee to give a free kick and a yellow card. And now a good chance here for West Ham. The right ball into the box, and before you know it, they could have they could be level in the on the night here with a good ball in from Bowen. Yeah, so dangerous from set pieces, West Ham, and especially in the Premier League this season, one of the top scorers from dead ball situations, as Bowen looks to deliver the left-footed ball in towards the area, and it's almost headed on. Zuma tries to help it towards the goal. It's Rice who gets the first touch, but it doesn't go in. Sent straight back into the area by Pablo Fornals, and now it looks like Frankfurt are away here with Hauger trying to skip away from Fornals, who's desperately trying to get back into position. Daichi Kamada now finds Kostic out on this left-hand side. West Ham have done really well to get back into position as the ball comes in from Kostic, cleared away by Kurt Zuma, but what a massive opportunity for the Frenchman. Zuma at the back post there. He looked as if It was almost certain he could help the ball in towards the net, but just doesn't get the contact desired. It ricochets off a couple of black shirts, and Frankfurt will be counting the lucky stars that they're still 2 goals ahead on aggregate in this leg.
That was a great chance for West Ham. We haven't seen a replay yet, but it seemed like Zuma was straining and he sort of got a knee to that ball to try and turn it towards goal, and it was stopped on the line. We've got less than a minute now before we hear injury time. There'll be a little bit of that, I would imagine, at the end of this first half with the Hinteregger injury and the red card with the VAR decision and the goal being scored as well. So West Ham have got to be very careful with it. They don't concede again before half-time.
Yeah, they want to at least go into half-time only 1-0 down. If not, best case scenario, they grab a late goal in this first half and maybe just maybe start something going into the second half, a bit of drama like we're used to seeing this season in the Champions in European competitions, as the ball's floated into the area by Kostic, can't be headed goalwards by Knauff, and now Fornals will look to desperately clear long down the line, and Mikel Antonio will give chase, but it seems as though Tuta will allow that just to roll out quite easily for a throw-in, and they've got the ball straight back into play here, Frankfurt, and Antonio just walking back into position. He seems like he's already touched every blade of grass in this first half. Only 45 minutes played, but he's done his best to put this Frankfurt team under pressure on his own up front, as the fourth official indicates for an additional 4 minutes on top of the mandatory 45. So still chance for West Ham to maybe grab an equaliser.
Still chance for them to concede again as well. That's been the difficult balance for West Ham throughout this first half. Had little glimmers there. That chance from for Zuma was the best they've had in the half, but now they've got to be careful, as here comes Knauff again down the right-hand side.
Yeah, now taking on Ben Johnson here as he looks to drift in field. He looks so dangerous every time he touches the ball, and now Sebastian Roda will have an effort from range. He just tries to bend it into the bottom left-hand corner past Areola with his left foot.
I'll tell you what, we'll see this replay, Harry, because Areola seems to sort of almost be ducking out, saying, it's all right, but this one looked to be quite close to the goal. I think in the end, he's got his post covered there, Areola, but it wasn't too far. We're now seeing a replay of that ball whipped in by Jared Bowen. It actually comes off the head of Tuta, or the shoulder of Tuta, and ends up with Kurt Zuma, and it actually deflects off Roda, and then he just deflects the ball onto the chest of Zuma, and that heads towards goal. So Zuma, you could say he deflected that without really knowing too much, but he never really had a shot on goal there.
Yeah, I don't think you appreciate how crucial that deflection from Roda was to turn it away from Zuma, because it looked as if the player was going to get to it first, or even it could have just been turned in by the shoulder of Tuta. But massive deflection from Roda to stop Kurt Zuma in his tracks. But they come forward once again here, West Ham. Souček trying to get away from Roda. Rice just does enough to flick the ball away from Borra, and now Ben Johnson will look to drift down the left-hand side. He's still going with it here. Johnson turns away from a couple of black shirts, and he ricochets the ball off the feet of Hauger, and he's one inside a corner.
Great play there from Ben Johnson. As I say, that's real hustle there from the youngster, because he's had a couple of moments where he's just been a little bit left out, exposed in terms of his defensive positioning. But there he's run all the way to the Eintracht goal line there and forced his side there to win a corner, which will now be whipped in by Pablo Fornals.
Yeah, Fornals with the right-footed ball in towards the area. Dawson gets up, but it's headed away by Evan Ndicka. That could be the place where West Ham could enjoy their glory, is from set pieces, as being a man down, you'd not really expect them to outplay Frankfurt in the middle of the park, as a free kick's given away just outside the penalty area by Thomas Souček, so it'll be an easy one for Kevin Trapp to take. But I think that's where they're probably going to enjoy most of their luck from for West Ham, is from set pieces, corners, free kicks in and around the penalty area.
Absolutely, that's why the delivery's got to be just right. I think that Declan Rice has picked up a booking there for holding his man on the shirt there. Rice is not happy with the referee, but I don't think he's got too many reasons to complain. Doesn't take much of a shirt ball to get a booking these days.
Yes, Declan Rice, the next man into the referee's book, so he has to watch himself, be careful, as we have around one more minute of injury time left to play. As now Tuta finds Toure, moves in field, plays it back across the face of the halfway line towards Evan Ndicka. Now got an overlap out on this left-hand side. It seems as though Knauff and Kostic have just switched wings here, so maybe a tactical setup by Glasner. Maybe something he wants to see Kostic running towards Ben Johnson on that far side, and that is exactly what's happened now, as Kostic does pick up the ball, turns away from Fornals, delivers the ball into the box looking for Borra, headed away by Dawson, and now it'll fall back towards Knauff, who, like I mentioned, is now operating on this left side, sort of a left wing back role. Seems as though Kamada and Hauger have also switched sides, so a complete flip from Glasner's Frankfurt side.
Yeah, they just seem to be mixing up a little bit now in these final seconds, but they themselves will be very pleased. They're now 3-1 up on aggregate, and they're up. They've got a man advantage as well, so the second half should be plain sailing for Eintracht. We'll wait and see, of course, as the referee calls time on the first half. Yeah,
the referee has blown his whistle, signifying the end of the first half. Frankfurt go into the break with a 1-0 lead. They're 3-1 up on aggregate now, so a massive 45 minutes needed from David Moyes' West Ham side.